The universe does not always fight with lasers or teeth. Sometimes, it fights with the fundamental constants of physics. We call them the gravity gods. They are the singularity titans, entities born from the collapse of ancient, dead galaxies. They don't move through space, they warp it toward them. A single titan has the mass of a small star compressed into a 3-kilometer humanoid form. When they enter a solar system, the planets themselves begin to groan. Orbits shift. Moons are ripped from their paths and pulverized. If a gravity god gets within 100,000 kilometers of an inhabited world, the sheer tidal forces will liquefy the skeletons of every living creature on the surface. Our home world, Oris, was next on the list. The titan appeared from the void, a silhouette of shifting obsidian and violet light, drifting toward our atmosphere. On the surface, the oceans were already rising in massive, impossible tides. Buildings were buckling under their own weight as the local gravity tripled. We had hours, not days. Conventional ships couldn't get close. Anything that flew toward the Titan was crushed into a ball of scrap metal before it could fire a shot. The only way to survive the crush zone was to create a localized field of absolute zero mass. We are the 14th Extreme Environment Unit, the Void Surfers. We don't fly ships. We wear the Mark X singularity suits. They are equipped with back-mounted antimatter pulse generators that create a shimmering blue bubble around us. Inside that bubble, gravity is zero. We don't fall, we slide. We ride the gravitational waves of the enemy like surfers on a tsunami. Our weapons are graviton lances, experimental tools that fire beams of negative energy designed to destabilize the Titan's mass. We are the only things in the universe that can look a black hole in the eye and keep moving. I am Commander Jackson Reef. And today we are going to make a god feel weightless. The drop from the orbital platform was like being shot out of a cannon into a meat grinder. The moment we cleared the hangar, the Titan's pull hit us. It felt like a giant hand was trying to flatten my brain against the back of my skull. Drives to maximum. Lock your bubbles. I roared into the comms. The pressure was so intense I could taste copper in the back of my throat. Unit 2, locked. The blue light of my bubble is flickering, Jax. This thing is heavy. Unit 3, locked. Looking at the Titan. My God, it is bending the stars. The view was a nightmare. The Titan was a towering pillar of darkness that seemed to swallow the light. Space around it was warped, twisting the background stars into strange, elongated arcs. The orbital rings of Oris were being pulled toward the entity, millions of tons of ice and rock forming a swirling, lethal belt of debris. Initiate the surf. Find the wave. We angled our bodies, catching the edge of a massive gravitational ripple. We accelerated to thousands of kilometers per hour in seconds, sliding through the debris field. It was like dodging mountains. I saw a moon-sized rock fly past my visor, its surface cracking and glowing red from the tidal stress. Contact. The god is noticing us. The Titan didn't have eyes, but it sensed the anomaly in its field. It raised a massive arm made of translucent obsidian. It didn't punch, it simply increased the gravity in a localized cone toward us. Break formation. Negative pulse now. I slammed the trigger on my wrist. My antimatter pack let out a high-pitched scream, and the blue bubble around me flared bright white. The sudden burst of negative mass acted like a slingshot. I was propelled sideways, the crushing force of the Titan's attack missing me by meters. Where the cone of gravity hit the orbital rings, the ice and rock were instantly crushed into a fine glowing dust. Bang. Sarah. Flank the core. We dove toward the Titan's chest. In the center of the obsidian body sat the singularity core, a pulsing violet sun that served as the entity's heart and brain. That was the target. If we could hit it with enough negative energy, we would trigger a mass collapse. The Titan began to manipulate the debris. It pulled thousands of tons of ice and rock into a swirling shield around its chest. We were flying into a blender. I'm going in deep. Cover the lanes. Sarah yelled. She was the best surfer in the unit, moving with a grace that defied the chaos around her. She dove into the swirling shield, her blue bubble leaving a trail in the dark. I followed, my graviton lance charging. The vibration was so intense my teeth were rattling. Sarah, look out. 12 o'clock. A massive obsidian shard, part of the Titan's own body, broke off and swung toward her like a scythe. She couldn't dodge it in time. She fired her pulse thrusters, but the gravity was too strong. The shard clipped the edge of her bubble. I watched as her zero-mass field shattered. In a millisecond, the Titan's gravity claimed her. Her suit crumpled like an empty soda can. There was no explosion, just a silent, horrific compression. Then she was gone, pulled into the Titan's mass. No. Vane screamed. Focus, Vane. Hit the core or we all join her. I barked, fighting back the rage. We cleared the debris shield. The singularity core was right in front of us, a blinding violet eye of infinite weight. Lances at 100%. Fire. We unleashed the graviton lances. 2 beams of distorted, negative energy air slammed into the violet core. The reaction was violent. The violet light turned an angry, static white. The Titan's body began to vibrate, the obsidian plates cracking and flying off in every direction. It isn't enough. It's absorbing the negative mass. Vane shouted. The Titan roared, not a sound but a psychic shockwave of pure density that nearly knocked me unconscious. It began to pull us in. My thrusters were at maximum, but I was sliding toward the white core. My bubble was shrinking. The blue light was turning purple as the Titan's gravity began to overcome the antimatter pulse. I looked at the reserve pack on my hip. It was a localized antimatter bomb, designed for planetary demolition. It was my last resort. Vane, get out of here. Use my wake to slingshot away. What? Jax, no. That's an order, Surfer. Go. I diverted all power from my shields to my rear thrusters. For a split second, my bubble vanished. The gravity hit me like a sledgehammer, my ribs cracking instantly, blood filling my lungs. But the momentum was enough. I shot forward like a bullet, directly toward the pulsing white core. I saw Vane use the ripple of my passage to catch a gravity wave, sliding away from the death zone at incredible speed. I was meters away from the core now. The heat was immense. The light was blinding. I could see the very fabric of space-time being torn apart. I pulled the pin on the antimatter bomb. See you in the void, you heavy bastard. I jammed the bomb into the center of the singularity core. The explosion was not fire. It was the absolute cancellation of mass. A massive sphere of blue-white light expanded from the center of the Titan. It was the sound of a universe being corrected. The infinite mass of the gravity god met the infinite negative mass of the antimatter explosion. They neutralized each other. The 3-kilometer-tall Titan didn't explode, it simply dissolved. The obsidian plates turned to vapor. The violet light faded into nothingness. The crushing gravity field that had been strangling the planet Oris vanished in a heartbeat. I felt a sudden, terrifying lightness. The pressure was gone. The pain was gone. I was drifting in the silent, beautiful dark of deep space. My suit was a wreck, my life support was failing, and I was coughing up blood into my helmet. But I was floating. For the first time in my life, I was truly, perfectly weightless. I looked down at Oris. The massive tides were receding. The atmosphere was stabilizing. The planet was safe. I saw a single blue spark in the distance. Vane. He was coming back for me. I closed my eyes, letting the silence take me. We had looked into the maw of a black hole and we hadn't blinked. We had fought the gods of the universe with nothing but a surfboard and a bit of antimatter. Humanity had proven the ultimate truth of the celestial void. You can have the mass of a star. You can bend the light and the time. You can crush the worlds under your feet. But you cannot crush the human spirit. Because when the universe gets heavy, we just learn how to surf. The Titan is gone. The gravity is normal. Oris is still spinning. The mission is over. I'm just drifting now. And the view is incredible.